How are you two getting ready for Pride? Ready to go. Anything special that you have planned or?
At your store, you have
at
stuff?
my store, yeah, at my store, we're doing lots of stuff. I make lots of rainbow stuff. Of course, I strive to make the rainbow as chic as it can possibly be. Yeah, Pride is really fun, and I've lived in New York for almost 30 years, and to see where we've come, and when I got here, it was during the height of the AIDS crisis, and now we're at this incredible moment where we've come so far, and Pride is always a reminder of how great we have it here in America.
Right.
I think this Pride, I'm of course also thinking a lot about how many gay people are struggling in other parts of the world, and it's a reminder to me to be really grateful for America.
Right. And when you just look at the history here, I think it's the 50th year anniversary since the Stonewall riots, right?
Yeah. Wow. Ooh. Come a long way.
And I'm old enough, I remember when it was illegal to be gay. I remember the Stonewall riots. I remember, for many decades, and my parents from Ireland, it was illegal in Ireland until fairly recently. And also, gay marriage, they have it in Southern Ireland, but not in Northern Ireland. Really? So I've seen the progression from when it was classified as a mental illness and illegal and blah, blah, blah in the 50s and 60s. And then in 1967 in England, they changed the law and it was no longer illegal to be gay. When I got my green card, it wasn't, they asked you the question, are you gay? And you had to say no because...
Luckily, Helen Keller was interviewing him for his green card, so he managed to get away with it.
So, wait, they ask you that?
Oh yeah, not now.
But then,
we took him in the 1970s.
Wow.
Like, that's one of the advantages, I think, of being a senior citizen, is you can look back and say, and really see, as with civil rights, as with gay rights, yeah, this is good. Because we got married in that window in San Francisco when you could get married, and then all of a sudden Prop 8 was upheld, and we weren't married again. So, and we had to wait for gay marriage to come through the Supreme Court via Edie Windsor and all those incredible people at the HRC. So, we've seen it come and go and ebb and flow, and I feel like now is the time when gay people can really do whatever they want, in America.
Yeah, I feel, I would say that...
There's still more work for rights to be protected for the LGBTQ community, right?
Of course. I think in any,
anything social justice,
there's always some fine tuning, but when I look at the progress that I've experienced over my life, it's just incredible to go from a period where it was really, really hard for me to come out and to be gay, and there was a lot of problems, to live in the world I live in now, where here we are on television being gay. It's an amazing time. And I think in a period when so many people are focusing on the negative, I really try to remember how lucky we are and how far we've come, and again, how lucky we are to be in America, where we have these rights, and when there's so many gay people in other parts of the world who are, being killed for being gay.
Yes. Do you get worried, for both of you, that, just hearing that you guys got married, then it was taken away, then you had to wait, for it to be recognized again. Do you get worried that those rights might be taken away for the LGBTQ community?
See, my generation, we survived by being very resilient. So you didn't look outside for approval because you weren't going to get it.
Right.
It was illegal to be gay. You weren't going to get external approval when I was a teenager in the 1960s. And into the 70s. You had to, gay people congregated and they learned to love themselves, not look for external validation and approval, because you weren't going to get it. Or it was very, very intermittent. So you had to develop a really resilient core. And so I still have that.
Right.
It's really good for your core, like paddleboarding. So I still have that resilience. I don't really care what other people say or think, I always quote Coco Chanel, who said, I don't care what you think about me, I don't think about you at all.
Ooh,
ouch.
I love that.
Ouch. As far as
I love that.
I agree with Simon, I don't care what other people think. My rights are fabulous, love them, but again, my focus is on the rest of the world.
Right.
You know, living in New York City, I'm much more worried about homeless people than I am about gay people. Homeless people living in the street.
Well,
Terrible.
You know what I always think of when it comes to the gay rights movement? I think about my childhood. I'm Jewish, and at my synagogue, the focus was on getting Soviet Jewry out of the Soviet Union. So that was what everyone was focused on. This was the 70s, and Jews were really struggling in Russia. And you know, at the time, was there anti-Semitism? Of course. In America, of course, there were problems. But I think at the time, the Jewish community recognized the huge problems outside of America. And I think about that a lot when I think about the gay rights movement. Is there stuff that needs to be done here? Of course, a lot.
Right.
But the outside world is a big deal.
There's the Rainbow Railroad.
Rainbow Railroad.
Rainbow Railroad is an organization that helps gay people get asylum in America and other countries. Wow. You know, and from Russia, from all parts of the world, Uganda, where gay people are physically under threat, getting people out of those countries and into safe places like America.
God, just hearing that makes me so sad.
Yeah, it is really sad.
It's just like, whenever I hear just tragic news and just how human rights are being violated, what is wrong with humanity? It is so much easier just to be happy and let people do what they want to do.
Well, that is certainly our experience,
right.
And we're so lucky. And we're so lucky that while the AIDS crisis continues, it's gotten so much better.
Right.
That was a really crazy and bizarre, terrible time. And I think that the gay community, we're very lucky to have gone beyond the crisis stage
Yes.
of the epidemic.
If you guys could give any advice for someone, a young person who wants to share about their sexuality, wants to tell their parents, but they're scared, they're terrified, what's the best piece of advice you can to help them understand that they have the strength to deal with this?
It's, in my experience, and of course it varies.
Right, of course.
For different people, and they're based on their circumstance. Right. But of course, for me, all that fear it goes away the second you say it, and it's incredibly empowering. For me, it was just the best thing I ever did, and I don't know what I was so worried about. However, that's not the case for everyone, but for a lot of people it is.
And your parents were embracing of you, and
it's funny. They at the time they struggled a bit with it. It was a different time, and now my mom is horrified that she was anything other than ecstatic.
Right.
But that was the time, and I think that I am glad that I didn't get angry at them for not being ecstatic. I think that as a gay person, if it takes you however many years it takes to come out, you should recognize that your family might not
accept it right away, right?
Might not accept it immediately, but you should hang in there, is my opinion.
That's great advice. How about from you, Simon?
Again, it comes back to not being too reliant on external validation. Like you've got to love yourself, and if you get into the gay world, you'll find plenty of other people who love you, and that's where you draw your strength from. And not be overly reliant on your parents' approval, because they may approve,
and they may never.
Not. And they may still be good people who just really cannot wrap their heads around it. But you have to have that core of strength.
Again, it's really good for your core.
Right.
Coming out can be just so good for your core.
It's good for your core.
That's actually the real focus of the gay. When gay people encourage other gay people to come out, it's just body fascism. Right. We're just like, if you come out, your core.
Your core is going to be good.
Yeah, your core is going to, and that's what matters.
That's all that matters.
Yes.
You know what the most fabulous thing about being gay is? Okay, so picture me, it's the 60s, I'm figuring out who I am. I wend my way to a gay bar with a little disco in the back. Talk about diversity. Everyone in there from all walks of life, all shapes and sizes, all colors, men, women, drag queens. Like automatically you have access to this incredible world of diversity, whereas the kids I grew up with in my little town, they probably didn't. They're still in the pub.
Same bubble that they've been in.
Yeah. Whereas gay, because you're with all these other people who have this one thing in common, but they're posh, poor, black, white, all shapes and sizes.
That's
It's
beautiful.
actually a really, and I've always been hugely grateful for that. It's like, wow.
It's pretty
We're
great.
lucky.
I love that.
There's a
It's
gift.
kind of great.
If you cannot get overly concerned with the external validation issue and really work, you think, wow, this is great. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, if you can get over that hump,
Yeah.
it's super hashtag blessed. And like, look at both of us. We have these incredible creative careers, and it's kind of due to being gay. I think it makes you creative. It makes you a
Right.
little bit sharper, and it can be super fun.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
And the core strength.
And the core strength is just
Most
all that
importantly,
matters in
yes.
this.